Well, Dr. Wang, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Welcome to our show. Well, it is nearly the end of the year 2019, and how would you summarize the global market for the year 2019?
Well, if you think about 2019, right, that has been a great year for our financial investors. If you look at the global equity market, it was up more than 20%. Emerging Asian economies feel the pain. That's why we are having our deceleration in global growth.
Well, it definitely was a year kind of like a roller coaster, I feel like.
Yep.
And just like you mentioned, all these uncertainties, like the trade disputes between U.S. and China,
Right.
as well as like Brexit developments. I mean, these uncertainties will continue in the coming year of 2020. So what's your outlook on the year of 2020 then?
Yeah, I think you really touched upon the key point here. It's about the policy uncertainty, right? So, recession.
So as you said, we sort of have to go along with these, global market uncertainties that are unavoidable for the year 2020. So what do you think is going to be the probability of a global recession? I mean, you already said global recession is not going to be likely for the year 2020, but
I would say, when you think about the U.S. economy, that's where, people's concern are most concentrated in, right? Given that U.S. economy is probably most advanced in the business cycle, and also yield curve inverted this year, right? So
it was a huge issue.
Exactly, because yield curve inversion has historically been a very reliable leading indicator for recession. But, our model, we incorporate multiple financial market indicators such as the yield curve and also economic indicators to sustain the economic growth.
Now, with all that being said, should we worry about the inflation hike in the coming year?
Well, I would say, we are not that concerned about inflation. Certainly, you could have some inflation spike, especially because of the tariff hike, right? But that will be just a one-off phenomena.
Now, we talked about the global market in general, the U.S., Europe, as well as China. What do you think about the emerging markets? Would emerging markets have the chance of being able to stand out a little bit?
Well, I would say compared to 2019, 2020, indeed, you could have a better chance for emerging market. Now, the first thing is that, if you look at the growth, right, certainly emerging market has suffered high quality bond product.
Now, then I think the question comes to which asset classes should Korean investors watch for the year 2020 for more upside opportunities, and which sectors should benefit?
I would say if you go somewhat longer in terms of the investment horizon, right, we would say, generally speaking, we would still be more optimistic about non-US international equity, right? So we estimate that it's going to be the new normal.
The new normal.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, definitely in the year 2019, we saw this trend of central banks worldwide, going, lowering rates. I mean, ECB, the Fed, even the Bank of Korea here. So do you think the central banks will react to such uncertainties in the coming year with the same kind of policy as well?
Well, I would say direction-wise, yes. They will probably stand ready to ease if they see further downside risk to the economic growth, right? But I think in terms of the extent, the magnitude of the easing is probably not going to be as significant as we've seen in 2019, right? So, for example, for the U.S., we are expecting Fed to probably just cut once or twice more next year. I mean, compared to this year, they shifted from the market expectation for 3 hikes to 3 cuts.
시청자 여러분 안녕하십니까? 정쌤입니다. 자, 2019년 글로벌 경제 한 단어로 표현하자면 어떻게 표현할 수 있을까요? 글로벌 무역 분쟁, 환율 갈등 등 아마 불확실성이란 단어가 가장 적합하지 않을까 싶습니다. 자국 이익을 위한 숨가쁜 경쟁이 한 치 앞도 내다보기 어려운 세계 경제 상황으로 이어졌는데요. 이런 불확실성 등은 2020년에도 이어질 것으로 보입니다. 글로벌 자산운용사들은 그렇다면 내년 경제 어떻게 예측하고 또 어떤 투자 전략을 준비하고 있을까요? 글로벌 자산운용 규모 세계 1위 뱅가드 수석 이코노미스트 치엔 왕 박사님을 모시고 불확실성 속 해안을 찾을 수 있는 시간을 마련했습니다.